Hey up everybody, my name is Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk a little bit about getting stuff done and what happens once you get everything done. Because right now, the biggest thing that I needed to get done has now happened. It's now been done. And now it's just a case of wrapping up all the smaller things that I need to get done, right? So I needed to get my feature film finished and out, and I've now done that, and I've done the behind the scenes documentary, and the DVDs are ready, right? And now it's just a case of trying to figure out how to get the DVDs actually burnt and stuff like that, which is a pretty minuscule task. So now that's done, and now I'm just focusing on getting the Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence movie done. I'm also focusing on an album that I've been working on for about a year, and a couple other projects. But eventually, probably in the next 4 months or so, everything's going to wrap up. I'm trying to get this year, by the end of this year, I want everything wrapped, which is the 3 documentaries that I'm working on, the 2 albums that I'm working on, the collaborative EP that I'm working on, and the other feature film that I'm working on. I want all of those things done, and I want Jonny Mozza videos to be coming out ideally twice a day, but I might reduce it down to 1 a day, starting in October. So we'll see how it goes, depending on if I get a big burst of inspiration to go out and film more of these videos. But if that's not the case, then I'll try and go down to 1 a day. And it just got me thinking, right? When I get all of this stuff done, then what? Because I've been out here in Vienna, and I've just released my film, Sheffield Psychedelic, and I don't feel massively happy, right? And I kind of knew this was going to happen. I knew that when I finished it, I was going to have a bit of a depressive lull, right? Because that's what always happens when you finish a big project. Because it's almost like you can blame all of your problems on this big thing that's ruining your life, right? Sheffield Psychedelic was ruining my life, and I was ruining myself over it, right? And now it's done. I will probably continue to ruin myself, but I won't have that thing to blame anymore. I won't be able to go and say it's the fault of that film of Sheffield Psychedelic. Now I'll probably end up having to blame it on all these other projects that I've got going. But when they get done, then what, you know? I'll start more projects, I'll start new albums, I'll start new things. I've got a website that I need to get done. I need to color grade about 2,000 images, or I don't know how many images I've taken, but I need to go through and color grade and do some image editing on all of them, take the zits out of people's faces, because people don't want their zits on camera because apparently it makes them look ugly. You know, I've got to do all of this stuff. And then once all that's done, then what, you know? You've probably got loads of things that are on your to-do list that have been long-standing projects. And then, you know, by the time you've finished the big one, you know, you've got a lot of little projects. And eventually, you know, at some point you will have finished everything, right? And your to-do list will be empty. Will you sit back and relax, or will you create a new to-do list? That's what I think I'm going to end up doing, because I can't sit still. I've been here in Vienna going a little bit mad because I can't sit still. I have to constantly move and do things and get footage and do all of this stuff and then use that footage. I have to do that, and I'm not entirely sure why. It's almost like a compulsion, right? It's a compulsion that I love because I love doing what I do. But at the same time, it also just never quite finalizes, you know? I look back at old projects that never quite came to fruition, and I look at them and I kind of think, there could have been something really great in that. Let's open up that Pandora's box again and go back to that. You know, there's a film that I was working on. There was like a little mini film that I was kind of doing in my spare time, just with myself. I wasn't investing any big resources into it or anything like that. Where the idea was, there's 90 minutes in the film, right? And a character wakes up and it basically gets explained to them that once the 90 minutes are up, they die. And it was basically, that was what it was about, right? Like when the film ends, they end. They are a character in the film. It was all very meta. So I filmed a fair bit of it. A lot of it is basically me fighting this thing called the orb, which is basically the exposition thing that just comes through and just says to me, right, you need to do this because the plot dictates it, and I don't really want to do what the plot tells me to do. And so across the film, I slowly go a little bit insane. That was what it was about. And it wasn't really a good idea, right? It was a neat little idea for maybe a 3-minute short, but for 90 minutes, come on, you know? So I find all of these old bits of footage where I'm sitting there rambling about orbs and stuff. And to someone who doesn't know what any of this means, I must look like a fucking crazy person. But I want to do something with it, but I'm not entirely sure what, you know? Maybe I don't need to get everything done. Maybe I don't need to finish everything. Maybe everything's just fine the way that it is. I'm not sure at the end of the day. So, yeah, I'm not sure, really. I'm at a bit of a loss. I'm trying to come up with something. This is like the 4th take of whatever video it is I'm trying to make. I used to be able to do these really easily, and for some reason right now I'm struggling to make them. And I don't know why. Is it that I've run out of ideas? I don't feel like I've run out of ideas. I've got a big list full of ideas. I'll read some of them to you. 1, getting all your best ideas when you're stuck awake at night. 2, quote, just get a better job, which is going to be about the societal sort of political thing of, you know, like, my situation's a bit bad, and someone goes along and says, oh, just get a better job. And the idea of it was, well, if everyone got a better job, then there would, you know, we wouldn't all be able to do that because there's only so many good jobs in existence. And if we filled the market, then who would be doing all the crap? Then there's 3, I finally have to admit that there are evil people out there, which I'm not entirely sure what the point of that was now. I think the idea was, I like to always try and see the best in people, but I finally had to kind of admit that sometimes there isn't a best to some people. Some people are just rotten from you know, the outset. 4, how much of what makes men and women different is biological and how much of it is social? That was another political one, kind of. I mean, the title explains it all, really. 5, if you'll never see all your ideas through, and you wouldn't want to even if you could, which I suppose is the closest one to what this is. You know, do I want to get every single project done? Do I want to see every little idea that comes into my head through to completion? Because I have a lot of crap ideas. I have a lot of ideas that aren't particularly worth getting out there. It's about what a good creative should do is filter out the bad ideas so that they can focus on the good ideas. You know when you've got a good idea, and you know when you've kind of been stuck with a bad idea. And then number 8, just what is an idea? Which I don't know. I don't know what an idea is. It's a thing that kind of comes into your head and goes like, oh, you should do that. Almost like a thought, but it's not quite a thought. It's a little bit more tangible than that. Like, say, I want to make a music video is a thought, but I want to make a music video that shows, I don't know, someone getting on a boat, and then it's going to be all kind of like very wide angle, all done in one take, and it's going to be over the song that's about getting on a boat. Shit idea, but that's an example of an idea, right? And then yeah, it just kind of goes on and on and on like that, really. I've got loads of vague ideas, and I've got loads of things that I could be doing. Maybe I need to start doing more notes and stuff for this project, this Jonny Mozza's videos. Or maybe my own standards have increased for what counts as a good video. I find myself not releasing more videos now, whereas when I started, I would release just about everything that I did. I might not even release this video. I used to release basically fucking everything that I made, and I would look back at some things, and the whole idea was to look back at it and not be able to tell which was the good idea and which was the bad idea, which shows that, you know, it's better to make a lot of stuff than to not make a lot of stuff. But now I've made a lot of stuff. I think the next thing for me to prove is that I can make good things, not just can I make a lot of things. So maybe I should start, you know, honing these videos in, doing more like setups and stuff. I did a video about that idea, how I wanted to make these sort of videos into a bit of a TV series. Maybe I should just start doing that. Maybe I should go for it and, you know, slow down the release schedule. Maybe I'm burning myself out with this compulsive desire to hit 2 videos a day out, which I don't think anyone's demanding me to do that. I'm demanding myself to do that. So I'm not sure. But I've got all of these ideas, and that's just one list. I've got a whole other list that has way more ideas on it, right? And I've got loads of half-finished things, and I've got loads of Word documents that have a few paragraphs in them. I've done so much that's never even come close to seeing the light of day, just like you have. I'm not unique in that aspect. We've all done that. We've all got, you know, an endless series of notes. We've all got like a big stack of papers at our desk just full of random ramblings. You know, we've all got that. And but that's basically what these videos are. It's a commodification of that big stack of papers that's sat on everyone's desk with a load of ideas on them. I've tried to see every idea through to the end, and it's gotten me to this point. Will it carry me on? I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I haven't made a few of these in about a week or so. Yeah, I've done a few of them, but here and there. When I get into a groove, I like to make, you know, like 10 in a day and then try and do that for like a week. And that usually lasts me for 2 months. And then I don't make many videos for maybe a month or so. And then I do it again and again and again. And it works for me. And I'd like to get into a stage where maybe I could just do 10 videos a day, like filming them, not releasing them, and just do that for as long as possible. Keep that grind up as long as possible. I hate the word grind, but in this case, it's kind of what I mean. Just keep that up for as long as possible, and then use that time to focus on something else. Because I feel my brain yearning for something more, something that I could do that's not just this. You know, make music. I love making music. I want to start focusing more on making music and making more proper music videos, stuff for a video show reel. I want to start doing more documentaries. I want to start doing more music in general, a lot more music. I want to do more albums in a day. I want to next year try and release 12 albums, one each month. I want to do all of these things, and maybe I need to put this project down for a little bit, this Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence. When my current to-do list is finished, it will be finished, and then this isn't part of my to-do list. This is just part of general existence for me at this point. Maybe I'm too used to it. Maybe I'm bored of doing them. I don't know. But I don't want to stop. Maybe I just need to start doing them whenever I feel like doing them, whenever I feel like I have something to say. But I don't entirely believe that either. Because if I did that, then I probably wouldn't release very many videos at all. And I don't think they would be my best ones. I think some of my best ones are like video number 5 in a series of 8 that I've done in a day. You know, some of them are good, some of them aren't good. And that's kind of the point of this. You know, it doesn't matter if it's good or not. It matters that it was made. So this one's been made. Whether it's good or not, it's up to the future to decide. I know it's a little bit all over the place, and I find myself saying that a lot after the end of a lot of videos. I know this video is a bit all over the place, and I'm sorry about that. Am I that sorry about it? Because I keep doing it. You know, I don't do anything to change. Maybe I should start doing something to change. I'm not entirely sure what. Maybe do some soul searching off air, you know, because I feel like all my soul searching at the moment is just done on camera, commodifying my own brain. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sick of doing these. I like doing them, but it's almost like my brain is rejecting it. And taking a break doesn't do it. And reducing my output doesn't do it. Ramping up my output doesn't do it. Maybe I just need to keep going. Maybe that's what's important, is that no matter how hard it gets, you just keep going. If you feel like you haven't got anything to say, find something to say and say it. If you feel like you've got too much to say, compartmentalize it. Maybe that's the point. Maybe the point is that people will eventually get sick of these videos. Maybe the point is that there is no point, and I'm looking too hard to try and find an answer that isn't there. It'd be one of those. I'm not sure which, but it will be one of those answers. And whichever answer it is, I'm fine with it. So, yeah. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching this video, everybody. Hope you managed to get something out of it. Bit existential, bit not in the usual way, more in a commodified way. Yeah, I suppose leave your comments below. Do you want more videos? Like, do you want this to carry on as is? Would you like less videos but each one is amazing? Would you like one video every month and that video is like fantastic? Or would you rather just like take a big break and just use this channel to upload like bits of music videos and stuff like that? Maybe I should set up a second page where I could do these. I like the idea of doing these in like 2-minute segments, you know? Maybe I should start doing that, just film 2-minute versions of these videos where maybe I get notes and I just say what I need to say and fast, because we're all busy, you know? We can't all just stop and spend 15 minutes watching some tall twat just spout his fucking problems out. Maybe that's it, I'm not sure. It all feels like I'm talking at this from a marketing point of view rather than from a creative one. I'm talking like I want to do what's best for these videos, and I want to make more good videos. But I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop this. I don't want to slow down. I want to speed up, if anything. I love the idea of making like 3 videos a day for the next 4 months, and then coming back in a year and just going, I don't remember making any of these. I like the idea of doing that. Because I look back at some of my older videos on this channel, and I have no idea that I ever made them. Sometimes I make points that the current me disagrees with, but that's fine, because we all evolve, we all change as a person. As long as we don't do anything wrong to hurt people, it's fine. So, yeah, that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.